Hello and welcome to SDN Tech Forum. This is part 2 for ASA management config. In first part, we initialize the ASA and we initialize the ASDM, right? In this part, we are going to do a lot of basic and essential configuration. That means we are going to configure SSH so that you can access the device remotely. So let's delve into the agenda real quick and see what else we are going to discuss. So I'm going to show you how to enable SSH, how to configure Snmp and validate Snmp. Then I will talk about Netflow configuration so that you can your router can send Netflow information to a exporter or Netflow collector outside. Right. You can also configure span on ASA. Yes, that is correct. So you can span your WAN port and to other Ethernet port, and there you can either connect your IPS or IDS. That's what I'm doing. I'm spanning the WAN interface, and I have connected my snot to that interface so that I can run all the rules and checks. Then I'll show you. We'll talk about the licenses and how to change license. Finally, very cool feature, packet capture. Right, it is a very handy troubleshooting tool which is inbuilt in within ASDM. Right, I'll also show you how to work with ASDM logs because they can be overwhelming. So I'll show you how to work with ASDM logs by sending it to syslog server if you have one in your network. All right, let's discuss the first topic, which is SSH configuration. Just like any router and switches, you need a few lines of configuration, mandatory configuration. Plus, since this is a security device, you need a bit extra, and I'll talk about what extra things you need. Right. The mandatory thing is you need to have the crypto key generated. Right. So crypto key generate RSA module work with 2048. Then you need domain name, you need username and password with privilege level 15. Also, since we do not have, I do not have any TACAX or radius in this network, so I'm saying AAA authentication SSH local. So I'm asking ASA to use local database for my SSH connections. SSH version 2, right? The extra thing what you need, since this is a security appliance, you need to enable SSH protocol on your inside interface. I'm saying uh, anything coming from inside, allow SSH for that. So that's why 000 is like allow all inside. Known caveat, right? ASA 5505, what we are using here, it's a little bit old or end of life, right? So uh, you may find this thing that when you enable SSH and you try to log in or SSH to your ASA, you are saying that it's telling you that no matching key exchange found because ASA is offering Diffie-Hellman Group 1 and your Mac or your Windows laptop is a newer version and it has dropped the support of DH1, right? So we need to statically or manually perform the workaround. And what is the workaround? Workaround is you have to edit the config file ssh/config, go to that file and append this. So host your firewall IP address, firewall.local firewall, and key exchange algorithm enable DH1 support, and you are good to go. You can access your ASA remotely via SSH. All right, let me know if you have any issues. Let's go move on to the next topic, which is Snmp configuration. Okay, Snmp configuration is pretty straightforward. Since again this is 5505, I'll advise you to work with Snmp version 2. And what you have to do, you have to configure your Snmp server community name and enable traps. The important thing is Snmp server host inside, obviously, and the server IP address of your Snmp server. Community name, so community name should match, and then you can validate using Snmp walk, right? And I'll show you in live demo how to validate that. All right, Netflow configuration. Netflow configuration is a little bit different. So this is the template will be available on my GitHub website. You can simply copy and paste, right? You may have to say Netflow export permit IP any, but it may be a case that you already have an access list which is doing permit IP any. So this line of a configuration is redundant. what you need is you need class map, flow export map, and finally policy map. Uh, Set your collector IP, the where you are sending your Netflow, and the port number, right, where that collector is listening to. Rest of the things is like timeout rate, refresh interval, and sampling other things. How you tie this Netflow export policy? We tie the Netflow export policy to service policy, global. So most of the time you have this global service policy already implemented. What we are doing, we are configuring additional line of configuration for Netflow and binding it to the same existing policy. All right. So this is how you can configure Netflow if you have a Netflow collector in your network. Span configuration is a little bit different from switch. So what you have to do, yeah, as you can see, this is my WAN interface, Ethernet 0/0, and it was part of VLAN 2. So this is the before config. And for span, what I have to do, I have to select a port which is available on ASA, and I'm going to say, I'm going to put it in the same VLAN, of course, switch port access VLAN 2, and then I'll say that you have to monitor a port. Which port? The WAN port. So I'm saying switch port monitor Ethernet 0/0. And if you do that, what happened? All the traffic which is incoming and outgoing, they will start coming to your port 02, and you can connect your IDS and IPS here. All right. Demo. In demo, I'll show you how to check your license, how to change license, and what are the different license restriction. And for packet capture, I'm going to run a live demo. All right. So let's go and first look at the license change. And for that, I have created a short video. Let's watch the video. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so that we can walk through it. As you can see, what you have to do, you have to go to configuration, monitoring user license. As you can see, I started with basic license. That's why number of license available is 10. Okay. And I will validate the same thing on my ASA. So SSH to the ASA and do show version. As you can see, this platform has a base license, and base license comes with certain restriction. What are the restrictions? The host limit is set to 10. There are some SSL limitation also, and as you can see, license feature for this platform, maximum physical interfaces, maximum number of VLANs, and all those things. But the major limitation is inside host is 10. And nowadays, any home network can exceed that limit, right? So base license is no good. So what is the next level of license? Next level of license is security plus, right? Which gives you unlimited host counts and other things. So try to procure security plus license. In my network, I'm going to generate a demo or a trial license and upgrade license. So this is how to upgrade the license. You can always go to configuration and search any tab, whatever you want to see, and it will show you where it resides, right? So configuration, device management, licensing, that's where we have to go. If you're not sure about navigation is like too much a hassle, you can always utilize search option. Okay. Licensing, activation key. Since I'm going from one tier license to another tier license, what I have to do, I have to put the new activation key. Okay. And you can always see show license detail. And this is the existing authorization or existing privileges. And this is my existing license key. Okay. Now let's switch to the newer license. And for that, what you have to do, you have to copy paste your new activation key here. Okay. Update activation key down here. All right. I'm just taking a screenshot of my old and new licenses. Now you can say every time there is activation key is successfully updated and ASDM want to refresh. So let's refresh and validate if we change the license level or no. Okay. All right. Show version. And you can see this platform has an ASA 5505 security plus license. And my ASDM quit because we changed the license level. Now let's log into ASDM one more time and validate that in ASDM UI. This is a time-based license. That's why I'm getting this warning. You may have perpetual license. That means that license never expires. All right. So the now our limitation of maximum number of 10 hosts and all those things has gone away, but we will go ahead and validate, right? And to validate, let's go to licensing again, property, user license. Number of license available is unlimited. Okay. So now there is no restriction. We'll again go ahead and just look at the new features which comes with this new licensing. And for that, let's go to licensing, activation key, click on that, and we will check the new license level. So as you can see, inside host is, this is the permanent, but effective running license, as you can see down there, it clearly says that unlimited. I'm sorry, I'm just clicking the old one again and again. Here you can see the device license is security plus, and inside host is set to unlimited. That means we can have unlimited connections initiating from inside. So that's what you need. All right, let's go. This is the change license level, how to demo, and let's go back to our firewall and check other configuration. So this is my Snmp configuration. This is the span port configuration, and you can always have the Netflow. You can also check Netflow. All Netflow configurations are there. All right. Now let's go and talk about the key thing, which is packet capture. Okay. And for that, we will go to, all right, I don't remember where it is. So let's packet tracer. My bad. Menu, tools, and packet tracer. Here you can see packet tracer. When you click on packet tracer, this thing opens up. All right. So we need a source IP address, destination IP address, source port, and destination port. You can select interface, which side of traffic you want to investigate, and what is the protocol. Okay. So, and as you can see, this also support SGT, which is pretty cool, right? This is being a very old appliance, but still during that time they have the SGT support. All right. So quickly, let's do a packet walk in action, and for that we need a source IP address and destination IP address, basically a TCP connection. And how you can find that? Go to home. I want to see ASDM syslog messages. All right, let's pick any one of it. Sorry, my drag and drop is not working. Okay, let's pause this. Right, Let's pick something which is going to internet. And okay, all right. So this is my source IP address. This is my destination IP address, and we need destination port as well. So for that, let's expand this. I want to see the source port clearly. Show me the source port. Okay. So 192.168.25 port number is 52409. 52409. All right. Let's populate this. 192.168.1.25. Source port is 52049. Destination port is 443, a standard one. But let's see what is the destination IP address. 1310.251. 13. Okay, sorry about that. 1310.251.92. All right, say start, and I said show animation. All right, so it's showing me that access list lookup is pass, route lookup is pass, access list lookup outgoing egress is pass. Now NAT happened, IP options and NAT lookup on different another interface. Now it's hitting the another interface and outside. So from inside to outside, this is the workflow it followed, So you can say that what is happening first, the incoming access list, then outgoing access list, then the NAT, and all those sequence are shown in visually here. You can also get all the details like which access list it's hitting, right? You can see from here that this is the show rule in the route table. So what are the rules I'm hitting? Access list, all those information you can cross launch. Route lookup, it's a default route going outside, and then the NAT information also you can check. Okay, what is the NAT information, IP option if any, and finally the result. So this is a very useful option when you try to troubleshoot a communication or a packet walk issues. All right, let's finally validate two things, Snmp and syslog. So let's finally validate first Snmp. And as you can see, I have configured the community and other things. Now, what we have to do, we have to configure the Snmp server host, right? Which is sitting inside my network. So I'm saying that Snmp server host, IP address of the server, which is basically my Mac, and the community and version, okay? Then to validate this, we are going to run the Snmp walk from my laptop to ASA and see if I can fetch the data, right? And if you're not sure what indexes are available or what MIPS are OIDs are available, you can simply say show Snmp server OID list on ASA, and it will give you the OIDs or MIPS which you can use to run your Snmp walk. All right, so let's go to my Mac and we are going to run Snmp walk here. Okay, let me copy and paste. We can say if table. Wow, not much meaningful. Let's do sysuptime. But pretty much everything what you have listed here, if you have Snmp connectivity, you can run. Okay, so let's do sysuptime. Cool. As you can see, it is up from last 4 days. All right, so this is how Snmp you can configure and validate. Let's quickly validate the syslog configuration. So on ASA, what you have to do, you have to do one line of configuration, which is logging host inside, because my syslog server sits inside my network, 192.168.1.22. This is the syslog server IP address, which is actually a Ubuntu syslog-ng server, right? That's all you need. And you can enable various syslogs like ASDM and traps, other things. You can also configure or tweak the buffers, right? But we are not doing those things. We are the bare minimum configuration. What you need to define your host. All right, let's go to the syslog-ng server and see if I can see the syslogs coming in. All right, so as you can see, var log, and this is my directory firewalls. Under that, I can see there is a directory already created, which is 192.168.1.254. That's my ASA, right? And let's dwell into this directory and see what else we see inside it. Okay, so we went one level in 2022. Looks like it's created every day. That's why it's based on date. So 2022 March. All right, go to the month, and here is my log finally. Now if I do, okay, let me say ls 192. Okay, as you can see, this is my logs coming in from ASA. Okay, on UDP 514. How fantastic is that? But this is not a great way to parse your logs, right? Yeah. Otherwise, you can see all this information on ASDM itself, right? Why we are sending it to syslog-ng? Because from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send it to the Splunk instance. So I'm going to install a Splunk forwarder on the syslog-ng server, and that forwarder will in turn monitor these logs, upload it to the Splunk instance, and there we will create some nice search patterns and do the indexing and searching. So stay tuned for that. It will be coming up shortly in next installment. Thank you.